Okay, we're live on YouTube. Thank you. So, good afternoon to everyone. Let's start. Hope all of you guys had a wonderful weekend and you had a good week last week. So, let's go. Dollar index. As we expected, and we said last week, we're still in a sideways move. And last week movement wasn't much. They did move up a little. They come back and they're in the middle here. So as usual, when you get a move like that, what you would find is you'll start to get some consolidation in there, right? Which is, you know, most of last week was kind of a consolidation. So you're going to get some kind of a consolidation here. And then if we do consolidate here for a while, you'd probably get one more up, right? So let's go to the, well, I'm in the 1 hour is going to high tracker. So in this consolidation, there's a good chance that, you know, they're making this one move here, probably like this. We could probably see one more down. This might be a short-term sell before you start to get the upside. If you take a sell and they actually drop to this level, then we will still be in consolidation, but we're going to be in a longer-term, bigger sideways consolidation. Because if they come back to the low, what they'll be doing is making a lot of up and down here with a more complex V wave in the structure. If they actually just drop to this level and go back, that will make the structure a much bigger structure, but a simpler structure. So one out of those two, you probably will be looking for a short-term sell and then see where that goes. Same thing in the euro, right? If we're going to be going down big time, we'll have to let this go back up here first. Make this one a 1, 2, 3, and then go down. So there is a short-term buy you probably will be looking for on Monday, Tuesday. And then we see how far that goes. So the worst case is you get a short-term trade. If this comes back to the top here, we are going to, it's still in a consolidation, except that this B waves become very complex. It becomes a much more complex B wave than we were expecting, which means we're going to be longer in the consolidation. So on the short term, I expect them to actually go back. Watch this little piece here. I don't think this will drop, but they can push it down a little before they do that. You'll be looking at a 1, 2, 3 pattern, and that will confirm the downside. If they actually break this low first, they're going to go down. They're going to go back up and definitely down. We will not see the top. Because that becomes an expanding flat or running flat, and that means you're definitely going down. If they go up from here, the buy is a good one, because if they don't break the low and go up, you'll probably get all the way to the top. So you're looking for a short-term buy there. Pound also going up a little, but we're in this pattern, and unless we negate this pattern, I wouldn't be looking for any buy setup, right? I wouldn't be looking for any buy setup in this pattern, not until they break out of this structure as it is. So you could probably get some short term here, but I think the longer term trade is coming to break this low. Complete this pattern, and then we will see what happens, because from there, if that is the case, you will have to make a pullback here before you go again, which means we'll go bigger consolidation than downside. So I wouldn't be looking for a buy setup on the pound until it breaks this top. Aussie pretty much downside, but you're in a big sideways move here. Let me just put this Aussie on. You're in some sharp sideways move here. You've got to move up, got to move down. You can probably crawl back up to the top there, and that would give you this pattern for downside. Right, if we get that trade, so short term, you may be looking for a buy. And then when you break this top, you look for a sell. Break or come close to the top. Sometimes they don't break it. Here's a good example of what, you know, if you're looking for it, right? You got this, you get 1, 2, 3. I think you can see that. You're looking for the next trade down. So you have this, you got 1, we think that is 2, you're going for 3, and then you're looking for this trade down. So short-term buy, long-term, we're looking for downside. New Zealand, I think you're probably going to get one more here. This might not be coming down very much. If this breaks, you go for that trade. Tagging the top. Once they break that top, you want to take profit, because that's breaking the daily top. Completing this pattern. So from that top, we could probably see them come down somewhere. Right? You could expect more downside. So if you get that trade, you take it. If they come down a little more here, it's still possible upside. You can see that, right? This might be the only one that I think possible upside. not as a correction, but as an impulse as possible, right? So let's see. We're looking for some upside in this. If you're going to sell this, if this is going to come down lower, you would want them to make a flag here. And then you can take this trade still upside. This would be very short-term downside, medium-term upside, long-term downside. Depends on which time frame you trade. CAD going up as we expected from last week. Remember that downside was going to go up, and it's still going to go up. Nothing has changed here. That is just more of a pullback here. This piece here, we saw that trade. It's more of a pullback. You're looking for this up. If they spend a very long time in here, which means they consolidate a very long time, you're just going to get one more pulse up. I still think we will break that top before we go, if we're going to go down. Right? If this is becoming a flat, they will come to break the top. Right? So I don't think I didn't think that was going down. Remember, we said that is just a 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is going down. It's just a smaller 1, 2, 3, same structure. You can see very similar moves, right? You got a bigger one here, you get that. You get a smaller one, you break, you come here. So if you were trading the news and the CAD news, I hope most of you got that trade. Probably spend some more here, and then we look for the next one up. Right? When they break the top, then I will be looking for downside, or when they break this trend line. Yen went down some more from last week, as we expected, some very short. I didn't think they were going to go that much. They can still go more, but it's still upside. The structure has not changed. I think I made that very clear. Structurally, last week they had already broken that low. So it's not like they went a lot more. They actually went up after that, and they're going sideways. So I'm looking for this to probably go back up. If they break out of this structure, that could be the start. That could signal the start of the upside. So on the bigger picture, what we're looking for? We're looking for that to go back up there. So is this the start? Remember, we had a number of starts, and I think one person wasn't too happy of understanding what we do, right? So we bought that, break even. I'm in this buy, not break even as yet. So let me see how this goes, and then I'll put that to break even. And we'll see what happens. I think this could be the start of the upside. And if that is the start of the upside, those little corrections in the euro pound would actually start signaling downside first. Right? I think this one is easy to see, right? It's not like it's complex. It's pretty simple. This is a simple three-wave pattern. So 1 hour, wait for a breakout, wait for confirmation to take the trade. Just not the breakout. You're not only taking the breakout of this. You want it to break out, make a flag, and then you buy. There's a reason for that. Swiss, I think we can get one more short term here, and then we're going to look for upside. It's likely going to break that to complete this pattern. You see this piece here? Maybe slightly we could see this one come down. We might even see them tagging this low. Because if that is a running flat in the middle, this will come here, tag the low, and then we will start to look for upside. So the Swiss hasn't broke out from last week. It actually now is breaking out. See that broke out there, just started, and they're consolidating. So we'll probably wait to see what that consolidation looks like. I would like to see them make one more down here, go back up, and then from there we'll take off. So if you get a sell set up here in a short, very short-term trade, it's maybe worth taking. I think this would be a good sell. Move it to break even. When they come and break this low, move that to break even, see if they'll break this low. But once they break this low, you're taking profit because you're going to be looking for upside. Silver will go sideways for a while. I'll show you that structure. But it's confirming the up move for us. So let me go long term in this one so you guys could see. This is what we have. I think this one is the lowest point. We're looking at that as one up, right? We're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 down, one up. Looks like we're making something in here. They'll probably just do something like here, come back here, maybe go back to the top. I was expecting them to break this top, then come here and then go back up. We're still going to get this sharp move up. We're more in a consolidation. Right, we're more in a big sideways move. So Inside here, we're going to probably spend a lot of time. We're going to make a consolidation that is equivalent to this. See, that's something here you're going to start to get. Maybe one more drop before you go. So let me put that in a lower time frame, and you see it. Probably some more consolidation here. Once they drop, you sell. Watch for the break of this low and take profit, because I'm not expecting them to come to break this low. This is your impulse. You're just going sideways. Now, can this one crawl up to the upside first? I don't see that possibility right now for them to come break that down, but it's possible. This piece is not showing that right now. I think mostly you'll be in a consolidation. If you do get that buy setup, it will take you about a day or two to create that buy setup so that you can see that there's structural change. For now, all I can see is that it's likely they're going to come down here first. So short-term sell, where you definitely want to buy here. So in terms of the sell, I'll ignore. But an entry order to buy somewhere here, I don't know, maybe 1 at 15. That's for sure. 1 at 14. And 1 just here. 3 entry orders that I'll put for buys. So you take your risk, split it out in 3, put those 3 entry orders, and walk away from the chart. It's a buy, not a sell. XAU, I think this could go down more. The bigger structure is very similar. You've got 1 up, 1 down, 1 up. We're looking for 1 more down before they go. On the 4 hour, if you look at it on the 4 hour, there's a good chance that this here could come back a little more here. Probably attempt to the top again. Not necessarily. And then make the move down. The move down will be an impulse before they go back up. Just finish off the 3-wave corrections in the middle that we were expecting to happen. So do you have a sell setup here? I don't think it's ready for a sell setup. If you take it, you'll have to take it as a very short-term sell setup. My traders, if you remember last week, are in from that trade from the top. Right? We saw that I showed you the sell setup last week. Same here. If you wait for a little consolidation, you'll probably get 1 more sell setup to break this low. And then you move your stops to see whether this is a flat for upside or they totally go. Either possibilities are on within the correction that we are right now. But once they break out of this correction, you will be in the downtrend. EURUSD. We broke the top, we came down, but they didn't go aggressive. So they stopped. You got a trade, you probably got break even. And the first half, the last trade, if you took a break even, the ones before that would have given you profit. We saw the upside last week. It's kind of going sideways right now. Okay. So still can't say whether we're in this pattern. I don't think we're seeing that pattern anymore with this change. But if this becomes a 1, 2, 3 here, you'll get a buy above the top. So any buy you're going to put in this will have to be above the top. And it becomes risky because I don't see the sense in buying this right now. The risk to rewards are no good. If you get a buy here, it will likely break this top and come down. If you get a sell, it could likely be the one that goes down very much. So if I'll be looking for anything, and this would be most likely looking for the longer term trade, which is a sell. The buy would be very short term. So, and it will have to come, the buy setup will only come above this top here when you break out of that top. The sell, any flag you get, you sell. Any flag you get on a 1 hour is a sell setup. Euro New Zealand, pretty much the same thing, right? If you get a flag here for a buy, you go, but the buy is limited. I think they'll only probably break this top. But if they break the low, they have to fall like this, break that low. Any flag after that becomes a sell. So right now, you don't have any trade on this. And the best thing to do is to stay out of this because it's not going well. Remember last week you were selling it, right? All these drops and all that drop and all that. But at this point, I think you realize you're getting break-even trades only. Because this one would have given you break even, this one would have given you break even, and you just decided, okay, let me stay out of it now. You saw this coming and you saw it turning. It's more or less in a big sideways move. Up, down, and they'll probably crawl their way up. It's not going to go very easy. They might make some really weird correction and then drop. We'll have something like this. EURCAD. We told you this one was going to break, right? We looked at the entire structure and we told you that that one is going to break. That would make for a good trade. So if you're not in the trade, no need to worry. You still have a very big trade to the downside. As long as that breakout confirms to us that that is a trade to go, this becomes your trade. So go back to the 1 hour. I will make an assumption a lot of you are not in the trade, but you can start looking for trade setups. Let this stop where it is doing. They'll make a flag. Sell. If they make a deeper correction, sell. You're looking for a sell. You're definitely not looking for a buy setup here. Your chief. This already broke a while back and we're consolidating. We made 1. I think you can see 1, 2, 3 here. Go back to the top and then come down. And that is what we're looking for right now. So there's a short buy here that might spike, happen very fast. And then we're looking for downside. I don't see this as some kind of a reversal as yet. On the big picture, we probably will come down some more, right? On the big picture, I'm expecting this, they go back up there, come back here, right? We were expecting a bigger move to the downside. 4 hour, 1 hour. We're looking for this trade up first before they come down. Because that would complete. If it goes very messy like this, right? If they go like the first one, you probably wouldn't get any trade, but you can start looking for the sell setup. So the buy might not give you much of a trading opportunity, but the sell will definitely give you that. Euro yen, I think finally we might be breaking, but you would need that confirmation to confirm that this thing is actually going down. What I mean by confirmation, every time they break, they'll give you some consolidation. We do have some consolidation in there. See, we do have some consolidation here. But we can't exclude the expanding flat. I'll just show you for 1 second what I mean by that. We can't exclude this as an expanding flat for upside until we get a deeper correction here. So for us to be sure that this thing is not going to retest the top, we first need a sideways move. A bigger one than we have had so far. We have had a number of sideways moves in here. I think you can see that. We've got a smaller one here. But, this starts to do something bigger than that. This would confirm a very big move to the downside. So short term, I think we could be looking for some upside. Right, short term, I think this can break to the upside. So short term, you'll be looking for this trade up here. And then somewhere from around the top here somewhere, start looking for sell setups. So let's see. I would like to see them consolidate there for a longer time, which means we could be going up and down for a while. Within a very small range, I don't know, maybe from here to here or somewhere like that. Within a range, they could start to do this, come back here, go there, and then go down. So we could be there for a while if we consider that the move down is the first impulse. And then we will start to see sideways. And if that confirms, there's a very big trade to the downside. We're saying it's going to break. This will break and it broke, right? So let's see if this breakout is actually the move to the downside. Euro pound coming down and we know where it's going to go to. So we're looking for Euro pound. This pattern, when we see these patterns, they're telling us that, either they're making a very, very big corrective structure or they're planning on going up. So you got a sharp move down. I think we will see that move come back to this level. Somewhere there. We're anticipating this one to probably, come back here, go back there, come back here, and then go. Right? We're looking for a complex B wave in here before they go. Based on what we have already, we think that will be a very complex B wave. So once they do that, if we break this here, go back up there with a complex B wave, we'd expect them to come back and retest the stop. And then we will make the decision whether we have more down or whether this becomes up. So first, you look for a very short trade to the downside, and the 1 hour, a very, very short trade to the downside with this going down. I think you'll probably get another one here. Test the low, and then we'll start to look for them to come back. So more of a big sideways move you're in. I think this one, last week we were expecting it to go back up. Remember, we were in this pattern. Let me just show you this piece. I'll go step by step with this so you could understand what patterns do and how they behave and why we trade them and how you trade them. So last week we were in here. And I think we were at the top. We were expecting it to come back. We were expecting this piece here to go back up there, break the top, and then come down. Right? And go down actually from there. That would be one simple pattern that we know. Instead of that, what they did, this never give you the buy. It actually dropped beyond this low, broke this structure. And once we saw that, I think a few people wrote me and said, hey, is this thing going down now? And I was like, no, we're going to expect them to break this top because we just start making a complex B wave within this here. So you've got an A, you've got a B, and we're looking for a C. This is still the impulse. And when we make that C, we're looking for this to break down. So is it going to break down now? We're still expecting that to happen. We're still trading this as if it is going to break down. Do we know that we are at the top there? Looks to me like we had a three-wave structure in here and we actually hit the top and we're going down. So what will give you the confirmation? You get a small correction or a flag there, you sell it. And then you sell it again, right? So you want a 1 hour correction or a 1 hour flag before you take the trade. And you're looking for a sell setup. Structurally, this is what this looks like. So two places you want it to go. You want it to first come back, not this little piece that I just showed you, but you want it to break out and come here. That would be the trade, the bigger trade. So you get a flag at the top there, you sell the 1 hour to the trend line, and then you keep it for this to break out because this is the big trade we're looking for. And if it is a flat as we think it might be, if this is a flat, they'll go back and retest the top before they come. If it is not a flat, and this one is actually where the whole structure to the upside ended, then we're going to come to test this low, and then there's a good chance we can break out of it. So the direction of the bigger trade is to the downside if you're looking at the structure, right? I think you can see this already. The direction of this bigger trade is to the downside because this is an impulse within that structure, and this is an impulse within that structure. We're getting a correction here, at least for one more impulse. Now, is this the start of that impulse? Who knows? Possible they just come to this level. Let me just make that slightly bigger. Very possible they just come to this level, go back up, break the top, and then come down. Right? That would be within the structures that we're looking at right now. So if you were in the webinar that I did, I think was on Friday or Thursday. Thursday was it? That special webinar I did on how to understand these structures and how they can develop to become more complex. And a lot of questions I'm getting from traders who actually are still pretty new with patterns and structures and all of that, understanding the complexity of it, how they will know this and how they will know that. It's easy, right? You just got to learn it. You just got to learn to understand the whole internals of how these structures become complex. What is the degrees of these structures and how they develop into something more complex. And then how that complexity together becomes one simple pattern. So you get a lot of small pieces fixed together, and then you get one nice piece of puzzle. Very clear. Something you see and something you understand, right? No, it wasn't Thursday New York Open. It was a Thursday. It's on YouTube. It's a special webinar. It's wave analysis. It actually, all of you should look at it. I think many of you haven't seen it. You should look at it. Wave analysis, because it shows you how, because the question is, many traders are getting that difficult, especially people who can't understand why the market behaves this way, right? You would start to understand that now. You can see it. You don't have to, you're looking for a big move. Doesn't that big move has to go now. But there's a great chance this could be the start of that big move. So you want to get that piece and you want to get this piece. And if you see at this level that it's still going to go, you stay with it. Even if you get out and you see it's still going to go, you can get right back in it. Right? That's the whole thing of understanding these analyses. They do work. You just have to understand how to read them correctly. And just reading is not simple. It's very complex, which means you have to know it. You have to study it for a while. You have to follow all these patterns, understand how this particular piece could develop into a bigger picture, into the bigger structure. Pound New Zealand, remember this one likely going to go up? Well, we have two things to look at here right now. This correction is over here and we're going down. If we're going down, they're going to go down from here. Right? Or this piece is going to make a correction here, retest this stop, and then go down. Either way, you notice what we're looking for, right? Bigger trades are to the downside. Either way, either they go from here, this would become this correction, or they go break the top and come. Which one? How would you know which you're going to do? Because traders also, but you said there are two options. They're going to go up and then fall, or they're going to fall. Well, you just have to learn to wait for it and understand what to wait for, right? So what you're going to wait for. If you get a flag here, sell it. Put it to break even and go sleep. It's a break even. You can go sleep. You'll wake up the next day. They'll tell you what happened to your trade. You got taken out for break even, or your trade is going very nice. If you got taken out for break even, it means they went back out. You wait for a correction and you trade them back to the top, right? I think, no, I'm not kidding you. Go to sleep. Leave the charts alone. Walk away from it, because the biggest problem with traders not getting the trade going in their direction, I can almost sure if I do a poll now, 80% of you are getting the directions correctly, but you don't get the trades, right? I can tell you that to be true from the people I'm trading a lot. All my 90% of my trader could do forecasts absolutely correct. They even get into the trades. But they don't get, not all of them are having that ability to keep that trade and stay with it, right? They literally mess with the trade. A very good trader, like, damn, I got 10 pips only. Look at that thing falling 400 pips. Go to sleep. You've put your stops, you've put your break even, walk away from the chart. You're either going to win the trade, lose the trade, or break even, whichever. If you manage to put it to break even, it's break even. Most traders mess with their good trades and watch it go their direction for the next couple hundred pips. Why? They're afraid to take a break even, or they're afraid to take a loss. So when they get a little positive, they grab that little positive. So telling you to go to sleep when you have that trade set up going your way literally means walk away from the chart. Just leave it alone. Let it do what it has to do. Because you're just going to mess that trade up, especially if it's a trade that has a potential to go very far. I mean, go back and look at how many trades you had made. You'd sold at the very, very top, and it's already 2,000 pips down, and you only got 20 pips out of that move. And you never really got it back, right? Almost every one of you can identify to that. What would have been the worst case scenario if you just put it to break even and walk away? You got a break even. Or if you just leave the stop loss and walk away, you got a small loss if you were wrong about it, right? But go back and look at all your trades and see how many would have been the loss and how many actually would have just keep running, right? You know how long it took me before I closed the EUROPOUND? Let me just go back to that. I'll show you this because it's important. Let me show you. All of you were following me when we sold the EUROPOUND from the top here, right? So our first sale on the EUROPOUND, the one I had on, was from here. I think all of you remember that trade. And I kept it, and I kept it. I kept it against this up. I kept it against that down. I kept it against that up. I kept it against this down. And when it started to do this and come back here, we realized this structure is going to go up, and I closed it here. So I closed it at the low. But just look how long I kept that trade and nothing happened. You don't have to be scared of it, right? There's no reason to be scared of the chart until you're seeing structural change, right? Well, when we saw structural change, I realized, oh, this is structural change. It's not going to come here. We were targeting the downside there. But with this structural change, it was good to get out and wait to see what happens. So I still think this is possible going to come back here, and then we're going to look for this trade. I don't think this is actually going up, right? So we will watch this to see how it develops. Very likely we're going to get it. We might not break this low. We might come to this level. We might go back up there, come back here, and then go. That's a very complex pattern. Not many of you will understand what I'm trying to show there, but it is a complex pattern that exists. And we've seen that many times, right? Many times. So go back to the chart and you can do that. Same with the pound Aus. These things will start to fall. You know, these pounds are going to really fall hard at one point. And very few would remember that. Very few of you would even remember that. I was warning about it. Guys, be careful. These things are slow. But when they start to fall, you're going to watch this trade come, I don't know, how much 1,000 pips down. Probably you're going to watch it fall from here to here, like this fell, or like that fell. And you're not in the trade, and you're going to go, what the hell just happened there? Why did it fall so much? Well, you knew, right? You knew it was going to fall. That's the whole point. You knew it's coming. You just have to be in the trade and then let it go, right? Remember when Bitcoin was 20,000? You knew it was going to fall, right? It's the same thing. It's very similar. The structures are telling you what they're going to do. If you have confidence in it, then the only way you can get it is understanding exactly what they're doing. You're going to be in the trades. Well, let's see. What if it doesn't go that much? What if you get into this trade on a flag here and it only comes here? Hey, why worry? If it comes there and start to go back up, you're going to get about 50, 60 pips out of that trade. Right? Even if you get a break even out of that trade, it's okay. It's not, nothing is wrong with that. But if it goes, do you want to be in the trade? That's the whole point. You have to worry with, if it goes, what would I do? Right? It's not if it comes back and give you break even. Pound New Zealand, pretty similar, right? I was showing the Pound New Zealand was which one I was showing you. Wait for that flag. If they consolidate, if they're going to go up, they're not just going to take off. They'll probably consolidate here for a long time. So you would have enough time to take off your trade for break even and then, you know, watch it go up. But, you know, if they give you the sell setup, they're probably going to come down. You're not going to get that upside. Pound CAD. Remember that top, that the only one that will go to tag that top again was the Pound CAD. Well, not again the first time. The rest of them already broke the top. It's still there. It's going up, and it's going up very nice now. I like it the way it's going up. You always want to see these structures do this. You want to see it do this. You want to see it crawl up slowly, 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 because this is your sell setup. This would be the most amazing trade if they break that up and they start to fall, which means every single one of you should be in that trade. And if you want to just try it out, go try it in a demo. I think you can wait for them to break the top, wait for them to break out of this small trend, look for your sell setup, sell it and walk, put it in a demo and walk away. Come back to it after, I don't know how long they normally take to move this much. Allow it to get beyond this low and then close the trade and you'll see how amazing it is. If you didn't mess with it. I would not put sell limits because the trade to the downside is so big. Sell limits can tag where you will have to put a stop, right? And, you know, we don't know that they'll exactly break that stop, right? They can do this and then come. But as long as they keep doing that, ignore it until it breaks and give you the setup. right? You know yourself, right? You get it in a demo and you watch it go 400 pips, you're really gonna piss off. I'm telling traders, those who don't know, those who are new, those who don't have the confidence in these things, you know, to practice on the demo with it. Pump Chief, it broke out of this, it's consolidating. We thought it was gonna drop. I actually thought this was gonna drop. They broke out as we expected, but they're not dropping as yet. But that doesn't mean it's not going to go, right? So on the 1 hour, we're getting another flag. Well, you could have seen this happening. It wasn't like it's very scary. You're getting another flag here. You can see that. So you can start to look for this straight back to the bottom. At least at this level, put it to break even. Because if they're going to make one more up, they will do this and then come down. They could still tag that top, but they're still going to be in a sideways move for downside. So whatever you're looking for in this, from now, it's still a sell setup. You're not looking for anything else but a sell setup, right? Let's see. Right now, I don't see, at least there is no structural change where you should not be looking for the sell setup, right? Pang Yen. Pang Yen is the only one. We saw the downside, but the only one that we're not sure because of the bigger structure that is not clear to me. I can't see that bigger structure as yet. We know that thing is going to come down eventually. But the question is this piece that is confusing. Because if it is making the pattern we are expecting it, the pattern we can see in it right now, it should stop somewhere here, make one more up and then come down. At least breaking this top, not necessarily so high, right? At least that part we are expecting. If it is making another structure, which we can't recognize as yet, they could actually fall, but I don't see that. I don't see this as a C wave as yet. Right? It's just not clear as a C wave. I can't see this as an ABC. There is enough reason to think that is it, but it's not a clear picture to me. So we will wait. If they do go tag that top again and then come down, that would be one amazing trade to do it. But on the short term right now, you have a sell setup. I think you can see it. You don't even need me to tell you this. If they break this, take this trade. Take it as a short-term trade, which means you take profit out of it. Aussie yen. Aussie yen, we thought would have broke out of this piece. We were looking for them to break out of this without breaking the low. They did come back, break the low. Nothing changed very much except that now this becomes a correction. They'll go back to the top there and then they'll make one more attempt to the low. Right? So when they come back to the top here, they will probably make one more attempt at the low before they go there. You're going to get that trade. It's just becoming a little more complex, right? So go back to the 1 hour. They're already breaking to the upside. Look for a buy setup. They'll give you a flag somewhere here in the 1 hour, and that will be your buy way back to this top. So we'll get 1, we'll get 2, we'll get 3. When they come here, look to take profit. Move your stops very tight. They can continue to go, right? We're not sure this is exactly the pattern we're looking at because there's another pattern we're looking at here. And sometimes when those two kind of look like they're, you know, they looks very much similar. It's hard to tell which one is the one you're going to go for, right? Which one is a bigger pattern, which one is a smaller pattern. But if you get the trade to this level and you move your stop here and they keep going, you're okay. They come back, take you out, you ignore the sell until they break the low and then look for the buy again. Right, so let's see how that goes. Aussie CAD, stay out of this for a while. Aussie New Zealand, let's not waste time in that. It's not. Aussie New Zealand is going to go back up, but more as a consolidation because we're making that big weekly pattern and it's going very nice so far. Probably going to get some more here, and then if you get a sell setup, take it. They're looking more downside right now. Put it in the daily, you can see that. I think we're going to get, you know, you're going to get this trade. You could get another drop before you start to get the upside. It's going to be a big upside, big sideways move up, something like that. Probably get a big sideways move up here. Get one more drop and then upside, right? One more drop up to that, and then definitely we're going up, right? So trading in here might be a dangerous thing. Not dangerous, it's just not going to give you any good trade. You probably get 20 pips, you move it, you get taken out to break even. So let's see how long that consolidates, and then you go for your trade. Aussie Chief. So if you took the sell from the top here, you're doing good. They're bouncing again. So you should be out of that trade. And we're in this pattern here that looks like a triangle, right? And if you know anything about triangular patterns, I showed you, if you watch the webinar that we did on Thursday, I explained that triangular patterns have at least 4 possibilities of how they can develop. So I'm going to go through very fast and give you 2 of them. One is this is a triangle, this is a contracting flat, and this one goes. You will sell in the break of this low. The second one is this is an A, B, C in the middle here. They go break the top and then come back. You remember what I'm saying, right? Come back. Downside. The bigger picture is downside. The question is, what is that consolidation doing? Those are 2 possibilities of the 4 different possibilities of how this thing can develop. And there are only 4 possibilities of how it can develop. We know them all. We understand how each piece is going to develop. And if you have that knowledge, if you're equipped with the knowledge of the pair, what it's going to do, how it's going to behave, what are all the possibilities, you can get in and out of it pretty often. So our traders sold there, they should be out of it by now. Understanding that once it hits here and start to bounce, you want to be out of that trade. If they're not out of it as yet, they'll be a get out. If it stops here and consolidate, then I think we'll probably see a consolidation here. You look for another trade back to this stop. And when it gets here, you move into profit, because if this goes break the top, you get good profit. If they decide to come back down here in one of the 4 variations, you want to be out of it and you want to look for a sell. The bigger picture is downside. Once this is over, that will be downside. It can stay here for a while. New Zealand CAD, I think we were showing this last week. And we're saying you want to sell this. If you're not in the sell, this has a big long-term picture. I think they're going to probably break out of this to the downside. Remember this one, your first impulse up here. I hope this was what I give to the general public and not only my group. So we're expecting this to go down, and it's coming pretty sharp. By the way, my traders should be in that trade. I hope so, right? So wait for a correction here. They'll probably make a correction in the 4-hour, or a 1-hour correction might be too small now. This was the 1-hour correction. The 4-hour correction you get, and then you start selling that thing. So let's see if we have anything in the 1-hour. Okay, you had the 1-hour correction way at the top. You had one here, you had one here, you get another one there. If you're in that trade, be careful. This could go back up there and then come down. Make 1, 2, 3. This would be the perfect sell setup. If they go back to the top there and then come down, that would be a perfect sell setup. But this trade could come quite a lot before they make the bigger correction. So do you have a sell in the 1-hour? No. The sell in the 1-hour is gone. You have to wait for your deeper pullback, the bigger corrections before you can sell. But it's not going to go away. They will give you a bigger correction before they break out. New Zealand Swiss, you're also breaking this. I think, let me see how far this could go. This might not go very far because of the Swiss, especially because of the Swiss, right? So there's a short-term trade here if you want to take this, probably to retest the low, but I don't know if they're going to go that far. The bigger picture should come back to the top here. And that's mostly, like I said, watch the Swiss dollar and the Swiss all pairs. See, we're in this big sideways move. And the most logical thing they should do is go back up there. Right? So probably stay out of sells in this one. Go with the sells on the other pairs that has good sell setups. New Zealand yen. Same here. Go back to the daily. This will have to go back up, right? It's not like you haven't seen that. Remember when this one was going up? I'm pretty sure you thought that is going to go up there, right? And then they stop here and they turn right back down. Well, if you thought this is coming down, at some point they're going to stop and do that. See? So I'm thinking that you got to wait, be careful here now. They're breaking this low. If they break this low down, might be the point from which they turn. So the trade you were in before that was this trade, the break of this. I think all of you remember that. The break of that trade, go up, give you that trade, go up, give you that trade, and you got taken out of it. It is okay. Broke down, come here, it's coming. I still would like them to tag the low. I think they may have tagged that low already, sorry. Yep, the low was stacked. So you can start looking for buy setups. I will watch that, allow this to go, make a flag, and then get inside. So wait for a flag somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere here. Anywhere you get a flag that is a buy setup, take the trade. Right? CAD. Okay, this one came down a little. That didn't go anywhere. We're not interested in the sell. Remember that? We're still not keen in the sell because you're looking for this pattern to go up, right? Expecting this pattern to go back up here. At least back to this level and most likely back to that level. And most likely breaking it. So start looking for your buy setups here, right? Go to the 1 hour. Can they drop one more down? Looking at this here, I think, yes, we can drop one more down. That would be a short-term trade. Like if you took that one, it was a short-term trade. Same here, take the profit because once they get here, you'll start a very, very aggressive move up. So any sell setup is going to be one short-term trade to the upside could be very aggressive because a bigger move to the upside. Swiss yen. This was the only one, if you remember, right? We said, watch this is going from the top here, right? If you're following me from the top there, we said, watch this. It's going to crawl its way down to the bottom, break this low, and then go. We are very close to that, right? We're there already. So I still think they're going to probably crawl down a little, maybe even spike it down, and then you're getting that move up. You'll complete 1, 2, 3. Go back to the 4 hour. I think we got a little more to go. Maybe some consolidation here. And the drop. Now, just in case you're a pattern trader, they don't have to tag the low, right? I think you know what pattern I'm looking for when I said we always expect them to tag the low. That's a common flat pattern. That is just a regular flat. They can go from here. If they do go from there, you should be willing, you should be ready to trade it. You should understand what you need to wait for to trade it. You wait for your impulse, wait for a correction, take that trade, don't leave it. But I'm trying to warn you not to jump in too early because if I said this thing is going to go up big time, traders start buying it now and then they drop and they drop and they drop and then they, you know, I get all those panic messages. Hey, I'm in this thing. You said I should buy it. It's going up big time and now it's keep dropping. So we give you the conditions whereby this pattern is very likely. Not necessary, but very likely. It could go there. So if they keep going down, you're selling, you shouldn't be selling because as you can see, if you were selling, all the trades would be short-term break-even trades. Unless you're pulling 10 pips out of them and be happy with that, then okay. You can pull 10, keep pulling 10 pips until you break the low. But watch this here. If that starts to break, you want to be in the trade to the upside. The bigger move is to the upside. You can see that, right? That was an analysis we did in the weekly for my traders. That is why the line is looking so, but actually it's a straight line up, right? When you do it in the weekly, you see it much clearer. See? Nothing complicated, nothing difficult. That's what we're looking for. Now, how deep can that go before they go back up? Let me show you so you can understand how pattern works. If we were looking at that very similar pattern here, I would say to you, we were looking at that pattern here, right? I would say to you, let them come break this low. See that low there? Let them come break that low. Or if this one was coming down, let this come break this low here. It will break this low and then it's going to go back up. So I want this to come and break that low and then go back up. How low can this thing go? Can it actually come here and then go back up? It's possible, but we are not expecting them to do that. They don't do that very often. The only time they would do that is if the orders are lying a bit lower. Most time we find that the orders are right around here before they turn. Right? Again, if you want to understand what I mean by where the orders are in the market moving towards orders, look at the webinar I did on Thursday. It's going to explain why the market moves in these kind of patterns. It has nothing to do with patterns. They're not making patterns for you. They just behave in this way. And once we see this behavioral pattern, an impulse up there and a correction like this, we know you're getting that out there. We know this is coming. See? Not difficult to do. Once you see this, you know that is coming. So once you see this, well, you know that is coming. How deep this can go? Well, the selling right now you can see how deep it is going to go. If you're looking at each pattern internally on the lower time frame, separately as a piece. So if I'm going to think that this thing is going to spike down very strong, very low, I'll be selling it. But I can see what it's doing right now, and that doesn't look like that's not how it's supposed to behave. If they're planning to go much lower, this is not how it behaves. When I see this, I'm thinking upside. Now, if they consolidate here, and there's a news event coming in the New Zealand dollar, and I want to sell this, I'll put a sell setup here because then I know they can do that and then go back up. Once they do this, I'm taking profit. So under conditions that there's going to be huge momentum to the downside, spiking that thing very strong to the downside and then go back up, which I guess is what happened the previous time. That is why they had that sharp move down. You can sell. But in a normal market conditions, you probably wouldn't sell. There's no reason to spike it so deep. They can, but you don't have any reason to move it. There's no reason why they will, give such a huge momentum. But they can use one of these news events to make that momentum happen. But if you're not good at trading that, you can watch that happen. You can be in the sell and watch it come back very fast and take you out for a loss. That thing would spike down 300 pips down and 300 pips up back within a minute or two. And you don't know what to do. And the next thing you know, you're out of the trade for a loss. So you would have to be aware that that spike down is the last one you're going to get and be able to take the profit and don't allow it to come back and take you out. See, it's not like you guys haven't seen all of this. You've seen it in the market. It's just that a lot of new traders don't understand what all of that means in the market, right? So if you're going to get that sell set up and it's likely it's going to go, you can take the sell. But always be aware because the next big trade will be to the upside. CAD says probably stay out of that. They're turning there. They probably got a little more to go. I think we might still see one more or so spike to this trend line. Not necessarily have to tag the trend line, but it likely will come this area and then go back up. I think I've shown all of you that pattern. And it's an easy trade coming, right? You can see it, right? It's a very easy trade in the making. So they're showing you that they're about to turn and they have enough reasons to turn. So from here, you can expect this to go back up. Let's see, right? 4 hour, you can see they're showing a lot of divergences if they're going to turning, and 1 hour like they are about to turn already. Breaking out of that would definitely be a good reason to start looking for buy setups, right? Wait for consolidation and buy it. Copper. Remember, copper is going to go for that piece. We were in the trades. I think most of my traders close all their trades because the first one, this one got break even. This one they took profit, and this one they took profit. Once we saw this coming in here, you take profit and that, take profit and this and that one got close for break even, or you take a small loss on it. One out of two things. They're making a bigger consolidation. They'll still probably get there, but just a deeper consolidation. Once in a while you get that. The first one did not give such deep consolidation. This one didn't have deep consolidation. This one didn't have deep. This one is getting it. Part of what did happen. So probably if you get a buy setup, take it. One more buy to the top, and then you get out of it. It's not a sell as yet. US oil, I think you're getting it to come back to the top. They broke this one. They broke this one. They can probably come back to the top here. It's going to be slow, but this is going to go back here. I don't think that is only correction. And this is not going up very impulsive. So they'll probably go slowly, 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 and then you're going to come back here. So if you're trading this to the upside, and there were reasons to trade it to the upside, as you're trading that to the upside, you'll have to be careful once they get to the top here, because you're going to be in a big sideways move, right? Pretty much you're going to be in a big sideways move, and they do tend to come back down. 1, 2, 3, they do make that. So you're making 1, you're making 2, you're going to come back here for 3 before the trend continues, if the trend is going to continue. I think it's going to continue because if you get that big flat in the middle, they will go back up for 1 more. So on the 1 hour, you may get another spike to the upside. I don't think it's going to go very far. And I'm not expecting them to break the top unless we're making an expanding plan. US, same thing with this. Probably I'll take this off and put this one so you can know where the tops are. Natural gas. Depending on how you look at this, which chart you're looking at, we broke the low already in some charts. On this chart, we didn't break the low. We're expecting them to break this low, and they didn't break it. I think in some charts, some of my traders are looking at, they broke the low already. So the question is, are we starting the up move, or is that just a correction, right? If your chart says they broke the low, maybe they did. We don't know. It's still looking to me like they're making a bigger correction here, right? Not the up move. So put that in a 1 hour. This still looks more like a bigger correction in the making. Right? You've got one there, you've come back, you've got one there, you came back, you're getting another one here. And they should still make that trade before they go. Right? Before they start the up move. Now, could this be the start of the up move? That's very rare. It's possible, but it's rare. So if you get a flag here, if they make a flag here like they made this one here for that move, that of the break even, like they made this one here for that move. So if they make one like this here, you get that trade. Put it to break even. And if you're lucky, this goes. If you're unlucky, they're going to come back here. You will get a sell set up somewhere here. You'll close this trade for profit and look for a sell for this one here. Once you break this low, take profit. Well, not exactly at the low, but if they go, you move your stop, move your stop, move your stop, because they're going to go back up. So this is starting to look like a big consolidation in the middle here for one more down. S&P 500, we're still in a sideways move, right? So the up move now is not the start of the, return to the trend as yet. We're kind of like bouncing up and down in here. See that? They'll probably go up some more here. Expect them to come back here. We're kind of in a B wave. I think we're going to get a complex B wave, a running flat in the middle here, come back there and then go. So if I'm looking at this structure, this should come here, come back like this, go back like that, and then come here, right? Kind of a very complex B wave in here. Come back here, A, B, C, and then you can start to look for up. This might take a long while because they're going to be very, very slow. Even the down one might be very, 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 very slow. So it's probably going to take a couple months. You're in a buy setup, but that's a short-term upside. This buy right now is a short-term upside in a B-wave structure that is getting very complex. As they come to the top, you'll want to exit that trade and look for a sell. Look for another buy. Look for this trade down. I'm expecting a bigger running flat in the middle there. Let's go. Next, you're looking for buys. You can see we're looking for that buy. We saw the structure here, and this one could go up quite a lot as well. It's a B wave within the structure for downside too. Nifty. I don't know if it was in this class last week or where they were just last week webinar or within my group only, but I remember we made this call here for the upside. I told you we were in a big A, B. We're going to go back here for the C. It was last week. Okay, great. So if you're in that trade, you're doing well. When they break this top and they come here, watch it. They can come a little high where they're going to go back down. It's same. They're all in some kind of a B wave structure, right? So you can trade it. It's tradable. It's short term. You get some nice short term trades. They might not break this top, but they can go up quite a lot. So that's a good trade setup. I hope you guys got it, especially those of you who trade that. Let's go to the cryptocurrencies here. Bitcoin. Come on. The charts are frozen in the cryptos. What happened? Great. So it went up. Last week it was supposed to go up, right? You were supposed to buy last week. Let me go to the 401 and show you that one. Come on. Okay, good. It was from here. So they went up last week. That was the buy, the breakout of this piece, right? The breakout of this piece. Remember that? That was your buy setup. So those of you who buy took some money there and you should have got out on the break of this one. Now they're going down. Is that the downside? I don't think it's the downside. I think we're making a bigger correction. So you got an up, you're probably going to get a down. You'll probably get another up, and you're going to continue to go down. So which means you'll be going sideways for a longer term. I don't see this going up as yet. It's going to go downwards, slowly upwards. It's going to be in a bigger sideways move for a longer period of time. So you might see some downside here. It's going to take a long time, then some upside, and then you'll probably get another downside. You know, you're going to start get some rallies downside before you eventually. This will probably take you a couple of months, if not a year or so. So you're not going to have another impulse. The impulse is over. You're in a correction, and that takes a long time. See? And when it's over, you're probably going to have another impulse. Not so fast. Trade, you can trade in here. You look for buy, sells, all directions. Anywhere you get one, take it, take profit. You get a sell setup, take it, take profit. Don't keep the trades in this sense. You get a buy setup, take it, take profit. You're not going to get a long-term movement coming right now. So all trades has to be short-term. Same here. This one actually broke. This was a nice one. If you took the trade, you could have taken it from there. You could have taken it from here. You could have taken it from there. And you're getting another setup to take it again. Short-term trades, you take it, take profit. Very short-term trades. Same with the XRP. This one, though, is a little more interesting. If you pull this here, you notice this one is going. We want them to break this low. They started to go back up. So, you know, if you're looking for a buy, this was your flag. And that is still your flag. Even if they come and break this low here, you still look for this straight up. It's not going to go very fast. It might go very slow like this. So you're still looking for a slow moving trade up, and then you can look for it to come back here before they go. This is going to do that for a while and then go. If they go very fast, well, you're lucky. I'm not expecting them to go very fast now when they break out, but if they go and they do that, hey, good luck to you. You're looking for a buy. Look for the buy setup. Don't look for the sells on this. This one you're looking for a buy, right? Those were some weird crypto ones. One of my investors gave me to look at for him. I think I removed all of them from here. What was it? XVG? Good question. If I remember what you're talking about. I don't have that one on. Let me see. We'll look at it the next time because I don't have it on here. Right? A number of them he was showing, right? A number of them that has those potential because they were very cheap potential to go up. So basically, those are the charts you would be looking at. Litecoin, let me see. Do I have that? What this is? You're talking about this one? Is there a special symbol for that, or you just have to type Litecoin on LTC? You're talking about this one? I have no idea what all those are. Yes. So this broke, went up. You would have come out of that trade there. I would have come out if you go. So what is doing? They're making a deeper pullback. This becomes one piece up. You're probably going to get some more consolidation, one more down, and then you're going to continue to go. Right? Structurally, let's see what you're doing in a bigger time frame. Oh, structurally, it's going to go up. Right? They're going to consolidate here. It's not going to go down. They already came down pretty much here, right? They already complete that downside there. So this one would probably consolidate here, drop back like this. See this pattern here? And then they're going to start to go up. So you can wait for them to break this low again, probably somewhere around 150 or even lower. Wait for them to start turn to the upside, and then you can start to buy that. At least back to the top. If this is 1, 2, 3, you're going to get some nice short-term trades, right? So they're tradable. If you look at the patterns, the patterns work every single where. Remember, it's the same people trading these things. Whether they're manipulating it or not, it's people trading it. And that's the whole point. Once you are doing that, you're going to find those patterns are amazing. They work every single where. So for everyone, and a lot of you have been after that webinar asking me how you can join the course. And so if you give me 1 minute, I don't want to talk a lot about the course. I'll just type my Skype here. And I'm getting a lot of requests on Facebook and all over the place. I don't read most of them, so I miss your requests, and people get angry with me why you're not answering me. Please use Skype. It's the fastest place to get an answer from me. MANGAL 457. It's easy to remember. You write it down, and any questions you want, anything you want to know about the course or anything, write me here. We will have another course at the ending of March. You can start joining the group now for that course. All right? So any one of you who will be interested in learning this thing, just send me a Skype message, say you're interested. I'll give you all the details you need, basically. Or for any other questions for that matter of fact, better to use Skype. Because you're likely going to get an answer from me if you use Skype. If you send me a message on Twitter, I don't even look at it. I mean, nothing to do with you. I just don't look at the questions. They're not on YouTube, not on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. Facebook, more or less, sometimes I look at the questions there and answer them. It's just a matter of time. It's not being arrogant, it's time. I really don't have that much time. I wish I had, but I don't have that much time. So please share it. And if you know anybody who's interested, you want them, people are asking you, you give them my Skype. That would be the best way to get them. Don't send them to Facebook, give them my Skype. So everybody have a good week. Trade with care, make money, and I will see all of you next week. Don't forget to share that one YouTube video, right? That one is an educational one. So if you share it, it's going to help people understand the patterns more. I'll stop the live stream. Thank you guys for coming. All of you on YouTube, thank you for coming. I will see you next week.